Welcome to Nintendo Kill Count, the show where we play through a game available on a Nintendo console and count how many enemies we destroy. On this episode, we play Wild Guns on the Super Nintendo. Wild Guns is a blend between a shooting gallery and a shoot 'em up, set in a sci-fi infused Wild West. You play as either Clint or Annie in your revenge-fueled story to kill all the bad guys or something because your family is dead or something. I still don't know what the justification is for this shooting spree, but yay, we get to kill things. The game takes place over 6 multi-stage levels, with boss fights interspersed throughout. Interestingly, outside of boss battles, the goal isn't to kill all the enemies, but to survive until the timer runs out, at which point any remaining on-screen enemies die, and you're ushered into the next stage. While having a multitude of people and robots all gunning for you may feel unfair, the game alleviates the difficulty in several ways. While being shot at, a reticule will appear showing where the enemy bullets will hit. Alternatively, if you are about to be hit by an enemy missile, a lookout prompt pops up. This gives you ample time to either dodge out of the way, or in the case of bullets, shoot them out of the air. The advantage to shooting bullets may not be immediately obvious, but as you do, you fill up your Vulcan meter. When the meter is full, your weapons do insane damage, which makes a huge difference, particularly in boss battles. Another mechanic you can exploit is positioning enemies off-screen. Every level has a little extra room on either side, and walking to the edges will cause the screen to pan with your character. Off-screen enemies can't shoot you, so hiding in one of the corners can be a viable survival strategy. Wild Guns is challenging, and after trying the first level, Carson City, I immediately quit and dropped the difficulty to easy. I thought my time playing Super Smash Bros. Would help me in Wild Guns, since a big part of that game is knowing where your character is on screen, but keeping your focus on your enemy. This allows you to react to what they do, and shield, attack, or dodge accordingly. Unfortunately, my perceived talent at Smash Bros. Did not translate in any way, shape, or form. Even having the visual clues of incoming enemy attacks, I got hit constantly. So much for my perceived reaction times. After completing Carson City, the game lets you choose the order of play for the next 4 levels. For reference, I played Carson City, Armored Train, Gold Mine, Ammunition Depot, and Desolation Canyon, before finishing with the mandatory final level. As I played, I slowly picked up on more of the mechanics, and was surprised by the depth the game offered. You can dodge, roll, and shoot enemy bullets. Melee enemies can be defeated by pressing the attack button when they are right in front of you. And perhaps most importantly of all, not all weapon drops are upgrades. Throughout the game, you have the opportunity to swap out your weapon by shooting the corresponding icon as it appears. However, one of the icons is for the pop gun, which, as you can imagine, makes you useless offensively and requires you to mash the fire button to use up all the useless ammunition for it as quickly as possible. There are other mechanics like the lasso or throwing grenades, but outside of the game being hard, there isn't a whole lot to say about my playthrough. My favorite fight was the opening of the final level, where you tackle 2 mecha men at the same time. After killing the final boss for reasons I still don't understand, I finished Wild Guns with a score of 3,097,270. So, would I recommend you try Wild Guns? If you enjoy shooting gallery style games and are prepared to die a lot, or are a filthy casual like me and use the rewind feature on NSO, I think it's worth a shot. I beat it in under an hour, but if you face the consequences of dying, I imagine it could take much longer. The gameplay is enjoyable and offered surprising depth for how simple it first appears, and visually it's still fantastic. Unfortunately, there are not a lot of resources on enemy information for Wild Guns. I found a digital copy of the instruction manual, which gave the name of several enemy types, but there were many others that went unnamed. In those cases, I came up with my own names for them. Of particular note are the cowboy type enemies, which varied widely in appearance, but I chose to lump under one cowboy heading for simplicity's sake. Another enemy that was super confusing to try to quantify was what I'm going to call the gunslinger enemy. Because of the order I played the levels, they first appeared as a mini-boss and had a lot of health, but in later levels they were a normal enemy type with a very small amount of health. Visually, they appeared to be identical, and even though it felt weird, I lumped them together. In total, as Annie in Wild Guns, I killed 206 cowboys, 14 Jack the Knife, 4 Mecha Men, 5 Actron, 2 Missilo, 3 Skyriders, 31 Galaxians, 11 Duncans, 7 Skyders, 16 Bantanas, 11 Pony Express, 2 Power Brothers, 4 Missile Robots, 3 Businessmen, 7 Buggies, 2 Block Dancers, 1 Hula Dancer, 7 Blue Shirt Bros, 15 Gunslingers, 1 Jetpack Cowboy, 1 Big Bertha, 1 Desert Storm, 1 Dungeness, 1 Crystallian, 1 Armored Express, 1 Mining Machine, 1 Gold Galaxian, 1 Gatling Gun, and 1 final boss, Mr. Kid. This brings the grand total to 361. The level with the most kills was Carson City with 74, and the level with the fewest kills was a tie between Goldmine and Ammunition Depot with 53 each. The average kill per level was around 60 enemies. Currently, that puts Annie from Wild Guns in a solid 4th, just behind Donkey and Diddy Kong from Donkey Kong Country, and still ahead of Mario from Super Mario Bros. Thanks for watching, and consider liking and subscribing if you haven't already.